Good evening and welcome to Sensual Talk. This is where we explore different shades of sensuality and pleasure. I'm your host, Emanuela Fernandes. A few weeks ago, I went to my very first burlesque show and I simply fell in love. Today, we're invited to the School of Fantasy, Tease, and Allure. To teach the class on Burlesque 101 is the creator of Love Letters Cabaret, the divine Miss Pastel Supernova. Pastel,
hello.
Thank you so much for being on Sensual Talk.
Thank you for having me.
It is so good to have you. You look absolutely divine.
As do you.
Thank you. And as you can tell, there is the burlesque attitude coming out, which is one of the reasons why I fell in love with this woman. So thank you very much. Before we dive into tonight's fun, as you can tell, tonight's show is going to be fun. I want to thank Dronish Media for sponsoring tonight's presentation. And I also want to dedicate this show to a very special person, my friend George Robinson, who passed away early this morning. George, this is for you. I know how much you adore the fabulous things in life. This show is for you. To all of you, thank you for joining us. I hope that you can stick around. You're in for some great conversations. Thank you for joining us. Pastel.
Yes.
I believe you have some attire that you would like me to wear.
I do.
To get myself in the spirit of burlesque.
I think maybe we can adorn you with some opera gloves.
I would love that. Opera gloves. All right. So first of all, what are the opera gloves?
The opera gloves are these beautiful little decorations that come in different lengths that make your hands a little fancier, a little bit more colorful,
All
a
right.
little shinier, a little softer.
I love that. How does that go with my outfit?
I absolutely love it.
I love it too. And we kind of match.
Yes, look,
Right?
dance team.
I love it. You know, ever since I've seen Pastel performing, I went to her burlesque show, I realized that I actually have another calling in life.
Yes.
And it actually may not be journalism after all. I think I want to be a burlesque dancer.
You could tell the news through your burlesque dance.
Right. All right. Well, why not? Why not? I mean,
I think you could. I think you're
think
clever
I could.
enough. You would be able to tell the story. This happened over there. Oh no, it was terrible. I am sexy. The end.
right. And the sexy part definitely goes with journalism.
With you
Not.
it does.
All right, Pastel. So, listen, this is gonna be off the hook. But before we kind of dive into the fun stuff, and there's gonna be lots of fun stuff, including the glove peel. Pastel's gonna teach me how to peel the glove, burlesque style. But before we dive into those people who do not know about the sensual art of tease and burlesque, what is burlesque?
Burlesque, as it's known now, is a theatrical performance that has some kind of transformation. Generally speaking, that transformation is always from fully dressed to fully undressed. Maybe with some tassels and some panties, but even then, the intention of the number will dictate what actually happens. Sometimes it's just one item of clothing that comes off. Sometimes you're fully undressed, but you have fans or a towel or a little piece of cloth that will always tease the audience and make them want to see more. There's a lot of dance involved, theater, glamorous outfits. It's a cartoon version of any situation. There's a lot of sense of humor. It has all kinds of elements that come from all the performing arts and usually refer back to a piece of literature or a visual piece of art and usually gives commentary on that. So it's a little piece of pop culture on stage.
And it's absolutely breathtaking. I mean, for me, for someone who had never seen burlesque show, it was eye-opening. I mean, it was intelligently funny. It was empowering for me to watch. I could tell how much empowerment the women were getting, from performing. So I actually wanted to ask you, what does burlesque do for women's sensual empowerment in your eyes?
as a teacher and as a performer and as somebody who's spoken to people who experience burlesque, I think the biggest takeaway is powerful performers, mainly women, showing off how good they feel, and the audience members realizing that they feel good about that too. So without noticing, they start to be able to say, you were fabulous and sexy, and the more they say that, the more they get that in response, and then they start to feel, they're like, but yes, and then they start to check themselves out and feel good in the most positive and beautiful way. So I think there is, specifically from a show, a certain exchange of raw energy that says, you are so sexy, and it comes back, and it doesn't have to be a personal attraction. There's just an exchange of that acknowledgement, which is really, really beautiful to see.
Amazing. And I know that humor is such a big part of burlesque. And why is humor so important to our sensual empowerment?
You can't take everything too seriously. The best parts of being with somebody in an intimate setting is that like secret joke, that know-how, that when you guys see each other later, you're like, yeah, that happened. Cute, cool, funny, something. It gives it something special, and also a moment to relax, because if you're gonna be honest, you can't be like sexy all the time. It's about being real, and those real moments are a little bit of vulnerability that in essence are what we're looking for. I think that's the sensuality about it. The sexuality that comes on top.
Right.
So whatever those moments turn you on, but.
And I think just ability to laugh is so sexy, right? And actually in my second book, which is going to be released in a couple of weeks, I actually talk about the power of laughter and how therapeutic it is, and that it's really one of the most sensual things that we do, and it's one of the first things that we learn actually as humans, right? Before we learn how to talk or to even crawl or walk, we actually learn how to laugh and giggle, which is so awesome. But back to burlesque, this is something that I think a lot of women question once they come to your show or to any other burlesque show, is can any woman become a burlesque dancer?
Any woman, any man, any non-binary person could become a burlesque dancer. It just depends on what level you're willing to go. Everybody can do it freelance as an extracurricular activity for practice, fitness, performance technique. Whether or not you want to be a showgirl, which is a real behind-the-scenes knit and grit business person,
which is
about it. It's a totally different monster, and you may not want to do that work. There's a lot of, like anything, there is a lot of work, and showbiz is tough biz. It looks fabulous because we work really hard. But everybody should take burlesque classes. Everybody should try. There are a lot of places where you can perform as a novice or just as a, a fan of burlesque, and those performances are so fulfilling. I work with a partner who has her own burlesque university, and she creates performance opportunities for students who are just learning what it's like to be on stage for the first time and find themselves peeling, and they have a fabulous time. The career is a different thing.
Right. So, but anybody can dance burlesque. I want to dance burlesque. So, I actually think that we might chat about the possibility of collaborating with Love Letters Cabaret.
I would love that.
Now, shall we learn the glove peel?
Sure.
Please. So I have my gloves on. Is there, how do I peel my glove?
You've already
burlesque
begun.
Style.
You've already started doing all the right things. So when it comes to burlesque, it's about the art of tease. But in order for somebody to be teased, they must exactly see what it is that they're supposed to be interested in.
Okay.
All you have to do is say, oh look, here's my thing. So by you doing, what am I doing right here? That was exactly what we do.
All
we
right.
show it off. We show how it feels. We show how it is to touch.
So it is very
things.
sensual.
Absolutely. Your audience wants to be that item of clothing. And then there's the item or the question of how you take it off.
Okay.
We like to use tension, give, and take away.
All right.
So you offer it. You might offer it to yourself. You might show off a little piece more, and you might change your mind.
Ooh, I love that.
You might place it on parts of your body where people would love to be, you know. And then with different options, you have many different glove peel revealed. You can take it off and shake it. You can pull it. You can put it behind you and bite it.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And then at the very end, pop it off.
So how do you think I did for the first time?
You got an A+. What do you think? Survey says yes.
Survey says Emanuela is going to be the next
Emanuela
Love Letters Cabaret
spanking
star.
me with her glove.
Yes. Pastel, so much fun. Thank you so much for doing this for me.
Oh,
I
for
really
you, with
think-
you. Look at that tease.
I really think there's going to be more teasing happening very, very soon. And if you want to see some very serious teasing, you have to come by and see Love Letters Cabaret live. Their next show is May 24th, and it's called Cake. Because guess what? May marks Miss Pastel Supernova's birthday month.
Yeah.
So let's celebrate. Please, 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 if you're in Toronto, get your tickets. If you're not in Toronto, take a drive, get your tickets. You must see this incredible spectacle of seduction, allure, and tease. Pastel, so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us for another issue of Sensual Talk. Of course, more Sensual Talk coming your way next week. I want to thank Joinish Media for sponsoring our presentation. And of course, lots more sensual inspiration on dailysensuality.com. I'm Emanuela Fernandes. We'll see you next time. George, I love you very much. We'll miss you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, you know what? I have to do this glove thing one more time because this is so much fun. Oh my
Just
goodness.
pop it. And then there's the spank.